Okay, the Sun newspaper has alleged an England international football player has been taking cocaine and was removed from a licensed bar before Christmas. But it's not giving away who the player is or what club he plays for. The FA have now released a counter statement saying, in light of the recent allegations made in the Sun newspaper, we are seeking information on who this could be. But we know it's an England player, and we know that they play in the Premier League, and they are an international, or they have been involved with the England setup in recent times. That narrows it down. Now, if there is a first offence for a recreational drug use, such as cannabis, or cocaine, or something like that, you get a naught. You can get just a fine or a talking to and up to a 3-month ban. So, one of the ways to narrow it down is to look at the England players who are currently injured or inactive. Yeah, that will narrow down who it could be. It is interesting that the player hasn't been named, and it is interesting that the FA are seeking further information. I wouldn't be surprised if the FA actually do know who the player is. The club are trying to keep it in house, and we will find out as time goes on, or we may never find out. But I think with looking at the past indiscretions of players in multiple sports in the last couple of years, they were outed very quickly. Zach Hardacre, it was out in the open why he missed that Super League grand final. Rangi Chase he was outed very, very quickly. I think there was another one called Danny Wakefield in the same match. So there was 3 rugby league players in the space of about 4 weeks, 5 weeks who got caught using cocaine. Then you had Jesse Bromwich, Kenny Proctor, and Sean Haydale in Australia and New Zealand. You had John Hardy, the rugby union player who plays for Edinburgh. He was caught last season and banned. So we've had Matt Stevens at Bath all those years ago. So they were all outed very, very quickly when they were caught. So I'm very surprised that there's this hush around this particular player, which says to me it's a very, very high profile player, and they're playing at a big club, and they were an integral part of the England side in the summer. And it'd be wrong of us to speculate, but it's leading people to speculate on Twitter, on Facebook, and now on YouTube. People are speculating who this player is, and it's a worrying trend with the rise in recreational drug use amongst professional sportsmen, but it's also happening amongst the young people in this country. And there are arguments just to legalise drugs, regulate them, make them as safe as possible. We've seen that does actually reduce drug use and crime rates, but the British government is going the other way. So there are arguments about the legalisation and regulation and the safety of it. But the fact that it is an unnamed player says to me it's an exceptionally high-profile athlete. The Sun newspaper, though, it says it's an allegation, and this is the Sun newspaper that made allegations about the victims of Hillsborough, saying they're all hooligans and they're robbing from the dead. So I don't particularly like the Sun newspaper. I do call it the Daily Mail's shitty little cousin. And I'm not a big fan of Rupert Murdoch's media. I really hate Sky. I hate the Murdoch print media. But the fact that the FA has now come out and said we want further information on this incident says to me, A, they know the alleged player involved and the allegation, because it is an allegation, it has to be proven. And I wouldn't be surprised if the club have gone into protection mode around the player and are having meetings with the player and his agent and his advisors, and they're trying to work out some kind of treatment plan. The funny thing is, it's illegal to be in possession of a Class A, Class B or Class C drug. It is not illegal to consume. That is a massive flaw in the law, which is why I think they should just legalise recreational drug use and regulate it, because it takes the criminals out of it and all that kind of crap. But that's another story for the other channel, really. But there is a worrying trend. It's happening more and more often. And we have to look at high-profile athletes and go, right, okay, a lot of these kids are given a lot of money very, very young. They're put in the public spotlight very, very young. There's a lot of pressure from the media and the fan base heaped upon them. We've seen written in the last few days some of the horrific things on Twitter being said about some young players playing at the World Championship Ice Hockey for, World Juniors, aimed primarily at the Canadian team. There's a lot of pressure placed on these younger athletes They're expected to be superstars straight away, or some of them, get paid a lot of money and they don't necessarily perform at the level that is expected. There's a lot of pressure. Look what's happened to Paul Gascoigne. That is a prime example of what has happened to a superstar young player that throughout his career was badly managed, badly looked after, was allowed to get into alcoholism and drug addiction, and look how he's ended up. So um, we have to treat these players like human beings, not just as these robotic football players. But there is an issue within professional sport. It's not going away, and the drugs testing is flawed, and there is this party playboy lifestyle with the amount of money involved in pro sport now as well, which is a problem. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.